going to show you how to make the 3 different page styles that I use for the St. Tropez mini album. I have 3 different styles. I made two of the styles, and then I just did one middle page of a style that was different than the other. So the first style that I'm going to show you is the waterfall, and I have a band coming up that will come down. This will be magnetized. So on the back of this I'll have a magnet, and then I'll have a magnet on this first page. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, and then the back. Okay, this is it has a side pocket that you'll be able to put a tag in. And then the back is a double pocket belly band, so you can put some tags or ephemera in here, and then this goes all the way through for a larger one. So let's get started just with the measurements and how to make this style. The first thing that you'll need is 2 pieces of 8x5 paper and 2 pieces of 5x7. Now the reason why I say 2 is because I made 2 pages. So if you just want to make one of the page, then you would only need 1 of each measurement. So this is the 5x7 I have in my hand. The 8x5, sorry, that was a weird noise. The 8x5, what is that? Spyware and unwanted software. Okay, so I put the 8x5 piece on my scoreboard with the 8" across the top, and I scored at 1/2 inch, and I scored at 7.5 inches. I folded those and scored them, or burnished them, and I put sticky tape. You can use the red line tape. I prefer this tape, the Score Pal tape. Not Score Pals, just Score tape. And so you'll see me use a variety of adhesive as I put this together. I'll use glue and I'll use tape. So this will be, that's the 8x5 sheet. So you'll turn it this direction, and you're going to place this piece of 5x7 on top of this to form your base page. So let's do that. I'm just going to take, I've had a lot of helpful suggestions on some of my other videos, and to make sure that I line this up well, I'm just going to tear back a little piece of the tape, and I'm going to go ahead and line this up as close as I can, and I want to make sure that it's going to line up on the side and along the bottom. And once I'm happy, I'm going to go ahead and pull this piece and take the rest of the backing off of the tape. And so now I have it lined up nice and neat. I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing. I'm going to make sure it lines up, and it does. This one I don't have to take a little piece off. I can just rip the whole backing off at once. And just make sure that this is smooth, and bring it down and push. So that's our base page, and so the left hand side is going to be where you put it on the hinge, and on the right hand side you'll be able to put a tag. Okay, so we're going to start with the waterfall on the front side, and you are going to need a piece of paper that is 2x7, and that's this one. It's 2 inches across and 7 going up and down. I did round my corners, you know, that's optional, you don't have to do that. I placed my 7-inch side on the scoreboard, and I scored at 1/2 inch, and I went ahead and scored at 5/8 of an inch also, so that it gives it a little bit of thickness, so that if the pages are a little bit fuller when you add paper and pictures, that it just gives it a little give. So you'll notice that I did it at 1/2 and at 5/8. Okay, and that's going to keep my pages down because I'll be putting a magnet on there. So the actual waterfall pages, I cut five of them, and those are 4 7/8 by 5. And my book is 5 across, so the reason why I did 4 7/8 is because I hate it when it gets too close to the binding and then the pages start to get a little bit worn. So I just made mine 1/8 of an inch smaller than the width. So 4 7/8 by 5. I placed the 5-inch side on the scoreboard, and I scored at 1/2. I did round my corners on the one side, and burnished that. Okay, so let me show you the measurements again. For the waterfall pieces, I cut 5 pieces at 4 7/8 by 5. I put the 5-inch side on my scoreboard and I scored it 1/2 inch. I did round my corners. The band to keep it closed is 2 by 7. I placed the 7-inch side on my scoreboard and I scored it 1/2 and 5/8 to give it a little bit of give. Okay. So I have all of my pages done. The reason why I did not put score tape on is I do think I'm going to use the art glitter glue for this part. I use a variety of different adhesives and this seems to work really well for me. So I'm going to go back and get my base page. And I'm going to start by starting at the top, and I'm going to put adhesive along this top where we scored it and bent it over, and I'm going to place it at the top, and I want to line it up on the right hand side. So see, the reason why I cut it at 4 7/8 is you're going to see a little bit of a gap there, and that's the way I like it, just so it doesn't interfere with the hinge. So I'm going to make sure that I line this up at the top and that it lines up on the right hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and get my adhesive on there. Get the extra glue off the tip of my glue bottle. Okay. And just put a small amount on there. And I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can see. I have one of my lights off just so that the camera, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and score it to make sure it lays flat. I'm wondering if you would see better if I had a black background, being as I'm using craft paper. Let me try that. Let me move some things aside here. Should have thought of this before, but now that I see it, it's kind of hard to. I have this. It's dirty, but you know what? It should do the job. Let's see if this makes a difference. Okay. I don't know if it did or not, but I'm trying. Okay, we'll see how that works. So I have my first page. I'm going to open it up, make sure I don't have any excess glue. Now you'll notice that you can see that 1/2 inch ridge, and the next piece is going to be butted up right against there. Let's see. So I have my next piece, it's folded over, and I'm going to keep it in the folded over position, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom ridge of the piece I just adhered. Okay, again, I'm lining it up on the right hand side so that I have a little bit of gap on the left hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And okay, put it up against there. Make sure that it's lined up here, and then I push down. You can get your bone folder, give it a good push, and make sure you don't have any excess glue. Okay, there's 2 pages. We're going to do the same with the next 3. Line it up with the bottom of that 1/2 inch that you glued down, lining it up with the bottom of that and the right hand side. And I got too crazy on the glue. Okay, got glue on my scored part, line it up with the bottom, and I want to make sure, there we go, give it a push with my bone folder to keep it sealed nice and smooth, open it up, no excess glue. 2 more. Go ahead and put your adhesive on, whether you use score tape, red line tape, any kind of wet glue. The wet glue that I'm using is the only one I'll use. I never used to be a wet glue person until I tried this. Push down. Okay, 1 more. Again, rounded corners, 1/2 inch, adhesive on the outside, and line it up with the bottom of the 1/2 inch and the right hand side. and push down. Use my score tool, my bone folder, sorry. Make sure there's no excess glue. Now, this will pop up, so the reason why I use the magnetized piece here is to keep this down. So remember we did it at 1/2 inch and 5/8, so I want to put glue on the first section, not that little skinny gusset part, the first 1/2 inch, and I'm going to center it and place it on the base so that this will come up, and I will have a magnet behind here and a magnet here. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball it. Some people would want to measure that, and that's totally okay. I am just an eyeballer when it comes to stuff like that. And on the bottom, so underneath all of the pages you just added, and I want it at the bottom. And of course I don't like how that lined up, but okay. Push down. And there's our flap. So again, you would place a magnet behind and a magnet on this first page to keep it down. So this left hand side would be the hinge. This is the pocket. I'm going to turn it over, and now we're going to do the double pocket belly band. Now this gets kind of thick. I use the artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations, and it's a great paper, but I did notice that it does get a little thick with this technique. So if you want to use a little bit lighter piece for this, that would be probably an okay thing too. So let me go ahead and give you the measurements. You'll need a 7 by 11 piece of paper, 7 inches by 11 inches. Okay, now for this, on the 7-inch side on your scoreboard, I scored at 1 inch, and I scored at 6 inches, so that you have a 1 inch on each side. 7 inches on the top of your scoreboard, score at 1 inch and 6 inch for 1 inch sides. Turn it and place the 11-inch side along your scoreboard, and now there are 3 that you're going to measure. Let me see, so that you're going to score. Okay, the first one that you're going to do is 3 1/4 inches, 3 1/4, and I'll show you this in just a second on a piece of a sticky note. The second score is going to be at 6 inches, and the third one will be at 8 3/4. Okay, so let me show you that. A 7 by 11 piece of paper. On the 7-inch side, I scored 1 inch on each side, so basically 1 inch and 6 inches. And on the 11-inch side, 3 1/4, 6 and 8 3/4. Okay, so now it's time to fold, and this is a little bit different because we're going to do some mountain and some valley folds. So I have my bone folder starting on the right hand side. I thought I wrote it down. Yeah, I did. Starting on the right hand side, you're going to do a valley fold. Is this right? Yeah, valley. So that's going to go down. So I'm going to score it, or bend it where the score line was, and I'm going to use my bone folder and make sure it's real good. On the second one that we did, we're going to go down, and that's going to make it a mountain. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, this last one is going to be valley. So that when you look at it, to me it looks like a W. Okay, so that helps. First one we scored by folding the paper on top, then we fold down, then we fold on top. So you have, when I look at it, it looks like a W. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and just use my bone folder and do the 1-inch ones too. I'm going to end up opening it, but just to kind of train it. Because I have such thick paper, good quality paper, I want to make sure I can score that as much as I can. Okay, so now we're going to fold, open it back up, which is what I did, and we're going to fold so that we have this. Okay, and that's what's going to make a pocket and a pocket. So this is where it gets thick. So I want to make sure I really push down as much as I can. And we have to take these 1-inch sides and fold them back. Okay? And this is where it gets thick. So I am just going to take a moment and try and burnish this, burnish. And on this, I'm going to use score tape. I'm not going to use the glue. And the other side, it does get a little buckly because of the thickness of my paper. Oh, pushing as hard as I can. So this is what it looks like. So now I'm going to put score tape on the back of this. I have 3/8 score tape that I'm going to use, and I'll use 2 pieces, maybe 3, depends on, and I'm just going to put it on that whole side. It fits 2 pieces. Okay, let me show you. So I have score tape right there on that side, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. I am not happy with okay. And one more. Make sure that's down there real good. And we're going to adhere that to the back of our page that we were just working on. I like to kind of center mine. Okay, and I'm just going to take off the tape and push down. I'm just eyeballing it. And I'm going to turn mine sideways just so that it's easier for me to adhere it. And then I'll take off the other side. Okay, and I'm going to place that down. And that is how you get the double pocket belly band. Okay, so then the only thing you'll need to do then now is go back and put your decorative paper on. You can either cut it 1/8 of an inch shorter or 1/4 of an inch shorter. You can add a piece of paper in the middle for your tag, a large tag, and then don't forget that you need to put magnets. So you're going to place a magnet here and a magnet on that first page before you mat. So that's one style that we have done. That was pretty fast. The second style is this page where it flaps open on the top and on the bottom. I am having a heck of a time here. And okay, and I will have magnet closures to keep this down. Then this whole piece lifts up and you have double doors, and on the bottom you have a double pocket with your corner pieces. There'll be magnets to keep that closed. Then you'll turn it over and you have a large pocket here and a pocket here. Okay, so let's get started on that page design. And let's see, what's this? Oh, now this one's a little bit different because there is not a side pocket. When you adhere this to your hinge, see, this is open. You're going to have your hinge right here. So you're going to be putting this, like if this is the hinge, you're going to be placing it like this. So the opening now is going to be at the top because we're going to glue the bottom closed after we put it on the hinge. So let me say that again. This opening piece will go on the hinge. We will glue the bottom closed, and so you'll have an opening at the top for a tag on this one. Hope that makes sense. Okay, let me throw away my scraps here. So for this one, now because I made 2 pages, that's why I have a 2 here, I used 2 pieces that are 10 by 7. Two pieces at 10 by 7. I placed the 10-inch side on my scoreboard and I scored at 5, right in half. Okay, 10 by 7 on the 10-inch side, score at 5. So that's going to be my base page, and we're going to end up gluing the bottom closed. Okay, so now that I have that base page, I want to start working on, I'll do the outside flap first. So let me find my pieces here. Top flap, front flap, bottom. Okay, hold on. Top flap. Front flap, bottom. Okay. When I prepare everything ahead of time, then okay, this is what I need. All right, so for the top flap, this one right here, you need a 4 by 5 piece. Nope, that's a lie. 5 by 5. Sorry. 5 by 5 for the top flap. And the reason why I said 2 of those is just because I made 2 pages. So if you're just doing 1 page that style, it would be 1 at 5 by 5. I went ahead and I placed the piece of paper on my scoreboard and I scored at 1/2. I went ahead and put some tape on there and I did miter the corners. So when we say miter the corners, you know, you just snip off a little piece from the score line at a diagonal. Okay, so it looks like that. I did round my corners. Okay, so that's the top piece. That's going to go up at the top here. And for my bottom piece, that is 4 by 5. And so again, I said 2 because I made 2 pages. So if you're just making 1, just cut 1. On the 4 by 5 page that is going to be the bottom, you're going to place the 4-inch side on your scoreboard and score at 1/2. 4-inch goes on in your scoreboard on the top, score at 1/2. I went ahead and burnished it and I put a piece of score tape and I did miter my corners. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere that. So your base card, the opening should be on the left. I'm going to do the bottom first. And I'm going to go ahead and I took all of the backing off. And I'm going to line it up at the bottom. Okay. There's our bottom flap. And now I'm going to do the top flap. That's your larger piece. And I already have my score tape and I already mitered. Now I'm going to turn this upside down just so it's easier for me to see. Line it up. Okay. push down, get my bone folder. Okay, so there's our top flap and our bottom flap. So you are going to need to place a magnet here and a magnet here to keep that closed. Or if you want to do the brads and then you wrap the string around it like a clasp envelope. If you want to put a brad here with swivel, what do they call that? A swivel type clasp, where they maybe put a piece of chipboard underneath of it so that you can move it and place it on top to keep it closed. You decide on your closure. I think I'll probably use magnets. Okay. So now when we open it, there's that. What am I forgetting here? Okay. Now I see what I did wrong. I forgot. I watched this first. I screw up, and I just did. I originally had this 7.5. I had this, and then it opened. I'm just going to work with what I have. Here's what I did wrong. This should have been placed on top of my base paper. This is 7.5 by 5. Or you could do like 4 and 15/16, just so it doesn't get in the way of the hinge. So this is my base. I should have placed this down on the top first so that you have this flap, and then placed the two on top of here, and I didn't do that. So mine's going to look different than this because I screwed up. Yep, I sure did. Okay, so mine's going to be a little backwards. It'll still be cute, don't get me wrong. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to still make this work, so don't give up on me. I'm going to place this 7.5 by 5, and again you can make it like 4 and 15/16 if you want, just so it doesn't get in the way of the hinge. And on the 7.5 inch side, I scored it 1/2 inch. Okay. And I'm going to now place that on top of the two flaps. So it's just going to be in a little bit different order, which, you know, variety is good. One page will be one way, another page will be different. Liven it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, I'll use the glue, and place adhesive, the glue. I let it sit too long, it got clogged. Let's see if that did the trick. I'm going to place glue here. Yeah. On one of my videos that I screwed up on, because I do mess up. I'm human. Somebody said, oh, those aren't screw ups, those are opportunities for learning or opportunities for creativity. And I'm like, yeah, amen, sister, because I have a lot of opportunities for creativity then. Okay. So here's what it looks like. You're going to open this page. Oh, Lordy. That'll be covered up with paper. I had put the adhesive on here. Good Lord. Okay, anyway, that'll be covered up. And now we're going to put our double doors up here. So for the double doors at the top, so then I don't have an L pocket. Is that okay? Or should I put the two corner pieces in here? This would be good for a picture though. Okay. I'm kind of changing this as I go. The double doors, let's work with that. The reason why I said 4 pieces is because I made 2 pages. If you're just doing one page, it's 3 by 6 7/8. 3 by 6 7/8. I put the 3-inch side on my scoreboard and I scored it 1/2. Mitered the top and the bottom, and that's going to be my left hand door, and I'm going to make sure it lines up with the top and the left hand side. Okay, I am going to go ahead and round the corners on my door. So again, 3 by 6 7/8. Oh, bear with me. I'm going to turn this sideways so it's easier for me to see. And I want to line it up with the top and the side here. Okay, there's door number 1. Door number 2, this time you want the score on the right hand side. So I still put it in my scoreboard at 3 inches. I still scored it at 1/2, but now I'm going to make sure that that score is on the right hand side. Miter the top and the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that on the right hand side now. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. Okay, I'm going to turn it so it's easier for me. Line it up at the top and along the side. Okay, so here's what we have. You know, here's an option. I'll have to think out loud here. So this is the front. It's going to lift up, and we have 2 doors. We're going to have this to lift up and this to lift down. This will be closed with a magnet. So the only thing different is I don't have an L pocket. And when I say L pocket, it's the 2 corner pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the top just so you can see how to do it. How's that sound? Pretty good? Okay. So let's do it on the top. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut a piece at 5.5 by 4. Okay, 5.5 by 4. And I'm going to have the 5.5 inch this way, and I'm going to cut diagonal from the upper left corner down to the bottom right corner so that it makes 2 triangles. So let me show you. On my cutter, I have the 5.5 side across the top. Well, yeah, the point, the upper left point is in the barrel of my trimmer, and the bottom right hand corner is in the barrel of my trimmer, so that I can cut this right in half. Make sure. And I moved it. Okay, so I have 2 triangles. Ta-da! Okay. I'm going to get my scoreboard out. So you're going to have a pocket this way and a pocket this way. So you're going to score at 1/2 inch on this left side, and then I'm going to turn it and do 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to turn this upside down just so it's easier for me to do the 1/2 inch. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it and do 1/2 inch here. I'm going to go ahead and fold on where I just scored on both sides. Now you're going to notice that you have a little extra that you need to clip off. So I'm just going to take my scissors. And on the bottom, when you fold that, you're going to have a little extra that you need to cut off. I'm going to put score tape on. I'll use my 1/4 inch score tape. And I'm going to place it along the bottom. I probably should have put it on before I snipped that corner, but I didn't want to forget. It'll still be fine. And on this side. Now we want to cut out some bulk. So as I'm looking at this, the bottom corner that had the little square, I'm going to cut at an angle on each side and take out that piece so it looks like this. So that I'll fold up and over, and that will be on this left hand side. Okay, so now I need this side, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, and I have it upside down to make it easier. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to turn it upside down just so I can line it up right. Okay, so the score now is on the right hand side in the bottom. Fold on my score lines. I'm going to go ahead and put tape on first this time just so I get a good coverage. Okay. And when I fold this over, I have that piece to cut off. And when I fold the bottom one under, I have that little piece to cut off. I want to take out some bulk. I'm going to take out the corner where that square was. I'm going to cut at a diagonal. And so it looks like that. Alrighty. Alright, so how's everybody doing with me coming up with creative opportunities because of the screw-ups? Alright, so it's still going to be, I have all the elements as the original, it's just they're in a different order. Okay, so I'm going to place my left hand pocket down first, and okay, I'm going to line it up with the bottom and the side. Push down. Okay, and I'm going to place the other one on top of that on the right hand side. Line it up at the bottom. Make sure it's on the side. Okay. No. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at what we have. On the front, when you this will be the front. It's got the two pockets in the corner, so you can stuff things in there to hold. It's going to lift up, and you're going to have two doors. This will be I don't know if I'm going to do, I'll probably do something where I can put string to keep these closed. So I might put a brad on each side and wrap ribbon, or do one of those swing clasps. That would be with a brad through a piece of chipboard from the paper collection, and then I put it through the paper, and then I can move that chipboard piece to keep this closed. Now this score tape shouldn't be there, but when I mat this page it'll be gone. Okay, so now we have a flip up and a flip down. Okay, all right, hope that works for you. I feel bad. Okay, turn it over, and this side's easy. Because I made 2 pages, the measurements say to cut out 2. The first thing you need to do is to cut out a 4.5 by 8 inch piece, 4.5 by 8, and you are going to score at a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So score with your paper on the 4.5 inch side. When it's up like this, when it's at the 4.5 inch side, you score at a 1/2, and then you're going to turn it on the 8 inch side, score at a 1/2, turn it around, score at a 1/2. So that's how you get your 3 scores. I went ahead and put score tape on the 3 that I folded back and burnished. I put score tape on. I took out my corners by angling them. I angle on each side of that square. I'm also going to miter the corner at the top. So just go up to the score line. Okay. So it looks like this. Make sure I have this on the right side. Okay. because I want to make sure that I can adhere this to the hinge. Okay, I'm going to adhere this and I'm going to line it up with the right hand side. So I'm going to put the two sides down first. I'll do one side and then I'm going to close that so it stays. And then I'll do the other side. And then I'll fold that over and stick that there. So that helps it stay closed. I'm going to turn this sideways. Line it up at the edge. Fabulous. I'm so glad that worked out. Okay. All right. And so there's a pocket. And now we have a pocket that we want right here. So that is 4 by 5. And I cut 2 of them because I made 2 pages. Probably tired of hearing me say that. I'm going to have it on the 5-inch side. Well, I'm going to score on 3 sides, just like I did the first one. So I want a pocket. So you want the, on the 5-inch side, score at a half with your 5-inch side on your scoreboard, and you can score at 4.5. Turn it and then score at a half. Okay. I put adhesive on where I scored and used my bone folder to burnish. I mitered the corners and I took out that corner piece. I'm going to go ahead and take off the backing of the 2 sides. Push those in and bring up my bottom. Take off the backing. I'm going to line this up at the bottom. And voila! So we have a pocket here now. Okay, so it's a little different from the original that I had made, but I made it work, people. I made it work. Okay, now there's one more page style left, and I only needed one. So I already made this, and I don't need another one. So I used a different type of paper to show you, so I didn't waste my wonderful artisan cardstock. So I just used some of the extra paper I had laying around. So you're going to notice it's a different color. Now I borrowed this idea from another one of our design team members, Lori, and I thought it was adorable. She had made an album, a Dapper album, and it had this opening, and then it had a flap, and then it had some pages in it, and I loved it. So I borrowed the idea from her. I don't have a pocket. I think she had a pocket inside. I didn't put that. And I want this to stay open for a larger photo, or so I can tuck things behind. But I craft lifted this from her. So anyway, that's the front. And you can put a side tag, turn it over, and I have an accordion style pull out. So you can get a lot of photos in there. Okay, here we go. This is going to be mistake free. Here we go. All right, so for the base, you need one 8 by 5 and one 5 by 7. An 8 by 5 and a 5 by 7. 8 by 5, 5 by 7. Place your 8-inch side on the scoreboard, 8-inch at the top, score at half, score at 7.5. Some people like to do half, turn it around, do half again. Same diff, okay? I'm going to fold those and burnish. Okay, that's going to be the bottom. Here's my 5 by 7 piece. And I'm going to place that on top, and that's going to create the base page. Just going to use glue, just to show you real quick. This was the base page we did on another one too. So this will have the side pocket. Okay, go ahead and turn it around. I'm going to put glue on this 1/2 inch side and push down. Base page, done. Opening on the left, opening on the right. Okay, now for this little booklet, you need a 5 by 8 3/4 inch piece. That's this one. 5 by 8 3/4. I rounded, well, I'll get there in a minute. So 5 by 8 3/4. I put the 8 3/4 inch side along the top of my scoreboard, and I have 4 score marks. I have 1/2, 5/8. That gives you a little bit of a gusset. I also scored at 5 5/8 and 5 3/4. That also gives you that little 1/8 gusset on the side. Okay. I rounded my corners on the right hand side. You are going to need 3 pieces for the little pages on the inside of the booklet, 3 at 5 3/8 by 4 7/8. 5 3/8 by 4 7/8. You're going to place the 5 3/8 inch at the top of your scoreboard and score at 1/2. Okay. So let's see if you can read my notes. We have the 5 and 8 by 8 3/4. We scored with the 8 3/4 inch at the top of the scoreboard at 1/2, 5/8, 5 5/8, 5 3/4. Then we cut out 3 pieces that were 5 3/8 by 4 7/8. I was running out of room on my paper, obviously. I have the 5 3/8 inch along the top of my scoreboard, and I scored at 1/2, which gives me this, 3 of them. Okay. I'm going to use glue for this. I'm going to start with this page. I hope I remember this right. Yes. Let me double check. Yes. Start with this piece. And on that 1/2 inch, I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive or glue. I always say adhesive, but okay. Now I'm going to eyeball this in the center. I'm going to turn it sideways. And I'm going to place that 1/2 inch that I just put glue on, line it up with the edge, and push down. Okay, so it looks like this, base page and then this long flap. Now you're going to place the pages inside so that when you open the booklet, you've got several pages. So I'm going to put glue on the 1/2 inch fold, and I'm going to place it right on top of this little 1/2 inch piece that's here. Is that right? Yeah. Now I made it a little bit shorter so that it will be covered by the book and you won't see anything hanging out. Okay. There's one. I'm going to place another one on top of this by gluing it on top. So I'm going to put glue on the 1/2 inch side. I'm going to turn this so it's easier for me to work with, and I'm just going to glue that right on top of that first page. So now I have 2 pages. And then I'm going to do the third one. Just glue it on the top of the last page you put down. I'm going to turn it and put right on top. Okay, now these pages are going to be inside of this little booklet, so I want this flap to keep them contained. So I'm going to place a magnet here and here on this top one, okay, like that. So a magnet to keep these pages inside. Magnet here, magnet here. Now, some people might want to put some sort of magnet to keep this closed also. You might put a magnet here and here, here and here to keep this closed. It's up to you on how you want to keep it closed. Okay, I hope this, yeah, makes sense. All right, there's one page. Turn it over onto the back and we have the fold out. Okay, so the fold out really gives you a lot of area to place photos. Just knocked over my glue. So here we go. You are going to need 3 pieces that are 5.5 by 7. You're going to place the 5-inch side or 5.5-inch side on the top of your scoreboard and score it 1/2 on all 3 pieces. Go ahead and fold on your score line and burnish all 3 of them. Okay. I mitered the corners on the 1/2-inch side. I'm going to use glue, and I'm going to put glue on the inside of the score because I'm going to adhere it by placing it inside of the opening. Okay, so that when I open this, I don't see that 1/2 inch. It's on the inside. Okay, so we have an opening. We're going to adhere it to the top part, the top piece, so that you still have that opening. I'm going to put glue on the inside of the flap. On the right hand side, put it inside of that opening and adhere it to the top. Push it in and fold down to make sure you've got it in the right spot. So now you have one door. The next piece we're going to attach to this one. So now we're going to take that 1/2 inch and we're going to glue it to that piece so that we have, okay. So again, I'm going to put glue on the inside. And the one I just glued on, I'm going to attach it on the left. I'm going to turn it so I can see. There we go. And push down. So now I have this. I have 2 and I want a 3rd one. Okay, so this one I'm going to turn so that the 1/2 inch is on the right hand side. I mitered the corners. I'm going to put glue on the inside again. And I'm going to attach it to the one I just put down on the edge. And push down. So you have this fold out. Okay. Now you can, I'm going to put magnets to keep it closed. I'm going to see if my magnets are strong enough. I might need 2 sets. I'll probably put a magnet on the last one, and I'm going to see if I can put it on the base and see if it's strong enough to keep it closed. If not, I'll have to put 2 sets on there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to come back after I have matted my pages, and I will show you how to adhere them to the hinge, and how we're going to seal the bottom of the ones that are a little bit different, that they don't have the side pocket. So go ahead and finish the base page of the pages style, and then go ahead and mat by making them either a 1/4 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch shorter than each page, and then I'll show you how to do the hinge and put them on the hinge. Thanks for your patience. Here, I'll work on the matting. Okay, so I've done a couple things off camera just so that I didn't bore you watching me glue paper. But let me update you on a couple things. First of all, as I played back the first part, there's an annoying sound in the background, and so I want to apologize for that. I craft in my basement, and so when the air conditioner kicks on, it's obnoxious. So that background sound, I apologize. Second of all, I am going to put a link to how to make the spine in the description box. Tammy Merrill has a really good tutorial that even I use to do my spine. I will tell you that she does 3/8 inch gussets and I do 1/2. So I just score 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. I keep going through and doing 1/2. So go ahead and watch her video that I link, and that should be an easy explanation as to how to do the hinge system. I went ahead and did my cover also. The front and the back pieces are 5.5 by 7.5, and the spine is 3 by 7.5. Okay. So I went ahead and wrapped it. I wrapped it in the artisan cardstock, and then I just cut out the paper that I liked to go on the front. So I added pockets on the front, accordion pockets. I don't really like how I did it. They're okay, but I think I would do some adjusting. So you can put a pocket on the front, you can leave them plain, it's totally up to you. I had to do some paper piecing, so you'll see a line right here in my paper. But I was running low. I've used a lot of paper. I also went ahead and cut 4.5 by 6.5 inch sheets of the cardstock. I did 5 of them, 1 per page, and these are going to go either in the side pocket or in the top pocket. The matting I did 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay. I'll probably punch a hole and put an eyelet and some seam binding so that it's easy to see and pull out. I'll even do that on the side pocket. I'll have it on the side so it's easy to pull out. I like having the seam binding stick out on the side. I think it looks good. So let me show you the pages now that I have matted them. It got pretty darn thick. So a 3-inch binding is going to be definitely needed. Nothing smaller than a 3-inch binding. So the front page, I just added some stuff from the chipboard stickers. I matted this on some artisan cardstock and added those really pretty gems. And then I just put a little heart right here, but the rest of it's just matted paper. I do mat in between the pages where there you have that little gusset, so it looks nicer. And so those have no embellishments to keep it flat. Okay. And on the other side, the double pocket, this is what it looks like without any tags in it. I added a chipboard piece, a sticker, another chipboard piece, a couple flowers at the bottom. Down there at the bottom I put it, it says "Take me to the beach." And so because this is a pocket, you can put tags in the first pocket, a tag in the second pocket, and then a tag behind. Now you can also do a larger one than what I have, but it will hold quite a few different size tags. Okay, so that's going to be my page 1 that I put in the book. This will be the second set, or the second set that I put on the hinge. So I have my decorative paper. I have 2 tags here, the lobster or the crab and the shell. And I just put a piece of, I cut out a piece of the paper and backed it from the paper collection. I have a metal anchor and a little heart, or it's not a heart, a flower in the corner. When you open it, I went ahead and my closure, it doesn't close as well as I thought it would, but it does the trick. I just thought it would keep it more secure. But I added a brad and a chipboard piece that's long, so it kind of covers at the middle here. And when you open it, I just added a little pocket by taking one of the cut aparts and adding glue on 3 sides, and then just stuck a little something in there. The bottom, to keep this flap closed, I have a cut apart, and that goes in the pocket that I have some lace on and a flower and a sticker. And then when you open it, it opens up and down, and I left those plain. The paper is there's so much pattern on it, you don't want to add too much. So then when I close this, like I said, you put this in to keep that shut. On the back, I just added a little bit of trim that I had, put a couple of the cut aparts in. There's a puffy sticker here. And then, oh, I need to put some tags in there. I forgot. So I can go back and cut some more paper for that. So that's going to be my second. The third one that I put on the hinge is I've used the ocean chipboard piece and glued it down. I also added glue because I am in a humid state also, Nebraska, and so humidity will make it lift, and so I just added glue also. This is a shell, a metal embellishment. That's a shell, the crab, and then those really pretty, they look like water bubbles. They're really sparkly. I love them. On the inside, I didn't really put anything because I want it flat for pictures and to close nice. I just added this. It said Sandy Toes from the paper collection. And I added the sunshine sticker there, but everything else is just the pattern paper. Okay. And then when we turn it over, this is that pull-out piece. And I just add, this is a tuck spot. You can add something behind there. And then this is also, I didn't glue it all the way down so something can tuck underneath there. Added the word beach here. Okay, that's my third one that'll go on the third hinge. My fourth hinge page is similar to one you've already seen, except for remember I ended up doing it differently because when I was showing you on the tutorial, I kind of did some things backwards. So this page is a little bit different. I have a cutout from the paper collection. I just added some lace trim and a puffy butterfly sticker. And when you open it, I just kind of left it plain. This I didn't glue all the way down so that you can tuck something behind there. Then this lifts up. I used 2 brads and a ribbon closure to keep the doors closed, and then I left the inside plain, just paper. So this just wraps around the brad, and I put the a metal embellishment at the bottom that came from the Prima collection, the metal embellishments. Couple tags here. And when you turn it over, I have a postcard that I cut out from the paper, added some lace trim, a little flower, and some cut apart pieces. And I backed all of them on the cardstock. Okay. And the last page is just like the first one. Oops, I forgot to put this back in. I'll have to do that. It's just the waterfall, no embellishments, just the paper. And on the back, added some trim, the word summer, and some flowers. And I just have some little pieces in each of the pockets that we made because it's a double pocket. And then there's a long piece in the back here that goes all the way through. Okay, so now comes the part where we attach it to the spine. And you want to be careful on this part. You'll notice that I put my adhesive strip closer to the top of the hinge, not towards the bottom. So when you put your page on, you don't want to push it all the way down because then it's hard to get the pages to lay flat. So I put my adhesive closer to the top, and when we attach them, I kind of attach it and bend it over at the same time to kind of make sure that it will lay down. So I work from the back and move to the front, and then remember there's 2 pages that once we attach it, we're going to have to glue the bottom sealed. Okay, so my first page that I'm going to attach is this one, and you might want to check just to make sure that it lines up on your spine okay. Let's see. So you find your opening, and I had a problem with this one earlier. It works, but it kind of is buckled a little bit. It gets caught on. You know what? To avoid that, this is the only one I had a problem with. I'm going to just angle one end so that it will get on there easier. So I just tapered that little end there, and hopefully that'll take care of the problem. Come on. There we go. So that'll be my last page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece off at the top and then make sure I get the rest of it on, and then I'll peel the rest of the backing. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to put all my pieces on my spine, and then I'm going to come back and show you how I'm going to decorate the cover. Okay, let's get going on this hinge system, or putting the pages in. I put in the first page just because I was struggling with it a little bit and I didn't want to take forever on camera. So I put that one on. So let me show you how I'm going to do the next one. This is one of the pages that we are going to, that's open, and we're going to attach it and then glue the bottom closed. So these are actually a little bit easier, I think, to adhere. So I'm going to take a piece of the backing off on this hinge. If I say that, let me get my little tool here. Okay, and I'm going to push this down so that it's not going to go all the way, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. I'm just going to take a little piece off at the top. Man, my hands won't. Okay, so don't take it all the way off, just do a little bit. And we're going to line up our page the way we want it, and we want to make sure that we're not going all the way to the bottom, because we want to be able to turn the page easily. And when I'm going to turn it so I can see it. Okay, and I'm going to now pull this because I'm happy with where it's at on this side, and then I'm going to look to the back and turn it so I can see. And I lost my little piece. Okay, and now I'm going to pull this and push it. Make sure it's on there real good. Okay, so there's that page. Now this we want to adhere. I'm going to turn it upside down. We want to take a little adhesive. I'm going to use glue and run a bead along the bottom so that it closes that. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue. Okay, and I just put a thin line at the bottom, and I'm going to hold it closed for a second. Okay, all right, let's do our third page, the middle one. This has the side opening, so I'm going to take back a little bit of the tape, the backing. Oopsie. Oh my goodness. Okay, and I'm just going to fold that over, and I'm going to do the same thing with this side, and just fold it over. And I'm going to line up my page. Lost it. There we go. Don't put it all the way down. And I like it right about there. So I took that one off. Check this side. And finish taking that backing off. And I'm going to make sure I push real good. Okay, so I have 2 pages left. So now hopefully you can see the process. When I come back, I will show you how I decorated the cover, and I'll have my pages inside. My closure is going to be I got to buy it. I don't have it quite yet, but it's going to be something that clips onto each side. Okay? All right, so I will finish putting my pages in, and I will be back. Here is my completed album after I've decorated the cover. Again, this was the St. Tropez paper by Prima. The flowers are by Prima also. This blue and white tulle type lace was from Country Craft Creations. All the paper and flowers are from Country Craft Creations also. But this blue and white tulle type fabric I also used for the pullouts on the sides and at the top too. I had some lace in my stash that I added. I have a metal embellishment from Prima, the anchor and the wheel. I have a chipboard cutout here that says Pier, and I just love these sparkly bubble type stickers. I don't know, dimensional, I don't know what you would call them. And then on the side I just put a piece of the chipboard sticker, and I put a flower for the dot of the eye. So that is the final product. It's a thick little puppy. I don't have my closure yet, but it's staying closed just fine. But a quick walk through here. This is my waterfall. This is the pull-out page. I put a couple of the extra cutouts in the pocket. Here's the multi-pocket belly band. Remember, this page flips up, and it has a little pocket on the inside. And then this comes out and then opens, and on the back page it's just got pockets. This is the little booklet, and when you turn the page it was magnetically closed, but there's different pages in here for pictures. Another pull out here. This is the 4-page spread, and goes up and down. This card keeps it closed. This also goes up, and you have the opening here, the pocket down here that's got some cutouts. Oops. Pocket pages, waterfall, and pockets. So that is the final project. This took me longer than I thought it would. It took a lot of paper too, so it took me about 1 full package of the Artisan cardstock. Almost. I still have like 4 sheets left. And I used almost the whole 12 by 12 collection, and I used all of the 6 by 6 papers I got. So whenever you use a waterfall, you go through a lot of paper. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope the tutorial is clear. If not, leave me a comment. And thanks for watching. Please visit Country Craft Creations for any of these products.